Hi guys, Asher here. Sorry I have not been posting in a while. I just have been busy. But today I will be posting and I will try to get back into posting regularly. So I hope you enjoy and let's get on to the video. Chapter 2. To the day I learned the truth. My grandpa and grandma's faces pale and they say, those weren't normal animals. They were a werewolf and a wendigo. I say, What? You let me go out there knowing those things were in those woods? And they look guilty, but my grandpa looks ashamed. And my grandpa says, well, it's not our fault, it's your parents' fault. They are the reasons why the werewolf in Wendigo is drawn to you. My grandpa stops talking like he had just said something he wasn't supposed to tell me. And I say, what the hell do you mean it was my parents' fault? My grandma sighs and says, it's not our place to tell you. And I say, I am going home and I'm going to ask for answers. And the sun had started to set and I had rode here on my bike. And my grandpa says, wait, it's getting dark. It will get more dangerous out there. I didn't hear him because I had slammed the door and I had gotten onto my bike and started riding home, but it was a long way back into the town. And the werewolf and Wendigo see me on my bike and they follow me home. Once I am home, I go to my parents as they were talking to Noah, and I say, what the hell did Grandpa mean when I told him about those creatures I saw in the woods? My parents looked shocked, and so is Noah shocked. But my parents look guilty as well, and my mom says that they weren't supposed to show themselves to you until you were 18. You're 17. Dad says Asher is turning 18 this year, so they will show themselves early. And Noah says, what the hell do you mean? Creatures and showing themselves too early? What is going on? And I say with anger, Mom and Dad know something about the Wendigo and werewolf in Grandpa and Grandma's woods. My brother looks shocked, and my parents look guilty, and have us to sit down so they can explain to me and Noah what is going on. And my dad says, okay, so we made a deal with a god of the creatures and animals, and before my father could say anything else, I say, what? Why would you do that? My mom says, let us finish. And the reason why is because you were a very sick child and special, and you got extremely ill where there was a chance you couldn't make it. So we made a deal with that God, but the God's part of the deal was that when you turned 18, the God of creatures and animals, the God we made a deal with, and the Wendigo and the werewolf, you would become their partner. I start to get ready to say something, but my mom cuts me off and she continues to say, which at first we didn't agree with. But we looked at you, our beautiful, sweet, special baby boy, who was only 4 back then, and we agreed, but only if you were 18. Then they would have you as their partner, of course. And Noah says, what happens now when Asher turns 18? And what do you mean Asher is special, as you say? My dad sighs, wishing he didn't have to tell me, but he had to. P.S. If I had got this wrong on what this word means, it is just in my story. My dad says Asher is intersex, male, but he shows more male features than his female side. So that is why he doesn't have the chest bit. So that is why you have never noticed it. I am shocked and angry that they had kept this from me for so long. And my mom continues and she says, and what is going to happen to you, Asher, is when you turn 18, we don't know much, but we do know you will go with the God we made a deal with. And the Wendigo and Werewolf, they all three stay in a cabin 2 miles west from the lake that you went to. Noah says, will we be able to see Asher again? And my dad says, maybe if they allow it. But that is all we know. And when we made the deal, your neck had a blue rose mark, but it disappeared after the god said it was what made the deal official. And you got better after that. No longer easily getting ill, just a normal kid, like we wanted. We forgot about the deal until now. And Noah gets upset and runs upstairs into his room, upset that he might never see me again. And I look at my parents and I say, I am glad you were trying to protect me, but you shouldn't have waited this long, and I'm going to my room. Once I am in my room, I look into the mirror and I put on a hoodie, shorts, and socks. High-thigh socks. Asher is a femboy and now understands why he likes to wear skirts and shorts. And I look into the mirror again and I see something on it, and he sees something on his neck. Was that a blue rose? The end of chapter 3 will be done in 1 to 2 weeks. I really enjoy this story. If you want, you can please put some ideas you may have for the story in the comments. I will see you next time. The story is called The Spiritual, Supernatural, and I.